Yes, them have the heart of a pagan. The children have the heart of a lion, I know. Evil a move with Satan. Righteous trod in the countenance of the Almighty One. Them have the heart of demons. The children have the heart of a lion, I know. Evil a move with Satan. Righteous walk in the countenance of the Almighty One. Poor people see hostility rising daily.
Shalom, this is Officer Rathaziah with the I.S.U.P.K. in Atlanta, Georgia. The subject I'm going to get into today is brotherhood and who exactly our brothers are and how we don't have to give our love to all the other nations. Okay? Remember that we have classes being held in Atlanta, Georgia, and Midtown for class schedules and times. Call 404-997-9123. Or if you have any questions on previous subjects, you can call that number as well. And two, for the brothers and sisters that's listening to these classes and watching videos and maybe even taking online classes, you need to be paying your tithes. That's also part of the law, and the I.S.U.P.K. comes out here and tells the truth, and we need to spread this truth. Okay, the Christian church is out spreading lies and getting rich. Okay, billions of dollars going into the Christian church, and we need that money coming to here so we can go out and really teach the truth and do it how it's supposed to be done. Okay, so remember to pay your tithes. You can pay them online on the I.S.U.P.K. website, and there's also a P.O. box. Okay, so let's get into the subject. We're gonna break down how when it says anything about brothers and loving your brother or anything like that in the scripture, it's talking about Israelites. The first scripture we can get is in Romans, the 9th chapter. This is Paul speaking. We'll start at Romans 9:3. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen according to the flesh. Okay, so when Paul says, for I could wish myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren, what he's saying is Paul is in the truth. He's saying that he could trade places with his brothers basically in the world to show them how good being in the truth is. He wish he could be accursed from Christ, meaning he could trade places with the brothers who haven't come to Christ, basically. Okay, verse 4. Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption in the glory in the covenants and the giving of the law, in the service of God and the promises. Now verse 4 is very important because it says, who are Israelites? Okay, so when Paul says in verse 3, my kinsmen according to the flesh, we're talking about a seed here. We're talking about physical brothers. It's not a spiritual thing. We're talking about people coming from the same seed. And it says, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption in the glory and the covenants, and the giving of the law, in the service of God and the promises. All these were given to the Hebrew Israelites. So when Paul says he wished he himself was accursed from Christ for his brethren, he's talking about Hebrew Israelites. He's not talking about the Chinese or the Japanese or the so-called white man or the African or any other nation. It's only Israelites. Okay? And we don't have to give our love to all the other nations because they don't give it to us. And it's not mandatory that we do it. It's actually the opposite. We only need to be giving our love to each other. And that's one thing we don't want to do, and that's why we out here and destroy it. Okay? Another scripture we'll go to is in Deuteronomy. Just proving how in the scripture there's differences between your brothers and other people. Okay? And you have to understand that. So when you read scripture saying love your neighbor or love your brother, you know exactly what's being said. We're just going to pull the scripture showing the difference. Let's go to Deuteronomy 23, verse 19. Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother, usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury. Okay, so what this is saying here, thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother, meaning to another Hebrew Israelite, you can't lend something to your brother and charge him interest on that. Okay, that's what the usury is. And it's saying you cannot lend upon usury to thy brother. Okay, verse 20. Unto a stranger thou mayest lend upon usury, but unto thy brother thou shalt not lend upon usury, that the Lord thy God may bless thee in all that thou settest thine hand to in the land whether thou goest to possess it. So in verse 20 it's saying, unto a stranger thou mayest lend upon usury. So to another nation, to an African or Arab, you can lend upon usury, but to your brother you cannot. To another Hebrew you cannot. Okay, and because that's brotherhood. Okay, and then we're not supposed to be trying to get over on each other like that or exploit one another. We have to show our love only to our nation, and that's what the whole Bible is talking about. It's not talking about any other nation. It's always talking about Israelites. Okay, and to prove that even further, we're going to go to Deuteronomy 15. Deuteronomy 15 and 12. And if thy brother, an Hebrew man or an Hebrew woman, be sold unto thee, and serve thee 6 years, then in the 7th year thou shalt let him go free from thee. Okay, so in this scripture it's specific on who your brother is. It says, and if thy brother, an Hebrew man or a Hebrew woman. So your brothers and sisters are only Hebrew men and Hebrew women. Okay, not no spiritual Israelites, not no white man, no one else is your brother except the Hebrew man and the Hebrew woman, the Israelites. Okay, that's who we are, and that's who we're supposed to love. We're not supposed to be giving our love to anyone else. Like the white man, we give him too much. Like we're only supposed to be giving him our labor. Okay, you're supposed to go work your slavery, and that's it. You don't have to give him your soul. Your soul goes to the Most High and to your people. Okay, you're not supposed to be trying to break your back for the white man. Okay, because he for sure won't break his back for you, and he hasn't, and it's been proven all throughout history. Okay, the last scripture we'll go to is in Leviticus. Go to Leviticus 19, verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him. Okay, so it says don't hate your brother or slack you or rebuke him, or rebuke thy neighbor. Okay, verse 18. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord. Okay, so a lot of Christians like to teach that you have to love your neighbor, you have to love everybody, but without you knowing who your neighbor is, you're going to be jammed up. You're going to be giving your love to everybody except the right people. Okay, so in verse 17 it says, thou shalt not hate thy brother or rebuke thy neighbor. And then in verse 18 it says, thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. Okay, and the children of your people, like we read, like Paul even said, is the Hebrew Israelites. That's the Lord's people. Okay, so you're not supposed to be, when it says love thy neighbor, your neighbor is another Israelite. It's not talking about the whole world or anyone else. Okay, so basically that's just pulling some scriptures to prove that we only supposed to love each other, Israelites. That's it. We don't have to give our love to no one else. If you have any questions on subjects or this subject, call 404-997-9123. Remember, classes are being held in Midtown Atlanta. Call for class schedules and times. Remember to pay your tithes. It's very important. So with that, I'm going to say shalom.
Yes, them have the heart of a pagan. The children have the heart of a lion, I know. Evil a move with Satan. Righteous treading the countenance of the Almighty One. Them have the heart of demons. The children have the heart of a lion, I know. Evil a move with Satan. Righteous walk in the countenance of the Almighty One. Poor people see hostility rising daily. Ignorant multiply brutality. I see that they run gone left mommy. Fi struggle the hard road with 5 beginning. Our I see baby having baby. Nothing that happen no do.